So, Shaun, you had a little bit of a stressed out week last week, didn't you?
Just a bit.
Yeah. I mean, you had basically a meltdown, didn't you?
I revisited the good old days of Burnout.
Yeah. It was sort of noted that you did randomly post a picture of the Burnout 3 game case by a certain individual, wasn't it, Duncan?
That was why I was knackered that day. I was like, I haven't actually used Twitter for about 4 days. Fuck Burnout.
Burnout's a good
I saw
game.
it and I was like, I wonder if he's all right. Nah, fine. Sort myself out.
Yeah, Duncan messaged me like, I think Shaun might be a bit stressed out. I was like, why is that? Have a look at the picture he's just posted. So being the great mate that I am, there is a picture.
Yeah.
Great mate. There is a picture of Shaun that it makes me laugh every time, and I'm just going to throw it into the Discord chat now. Every single time I see this picture, it makes me laugh without fail. And this was Shaun's profile picture on Facebook for about a year. And it makes me laugh every time. So I had to go to the bank one day. I think it was Saturday. I had to go to the bank in the morning. And I was driving into town. And I thought, you know what? Shaun needs a little present. Shaun's a little bit down in the dumps. So I'll go and knock on his door. And I'll leave him a little present. And I knocked on his door.
You didn't even knock?
I did. I rung the doorbell and I knocked twice. And I also threw a little stone at your living room window and nobody answered.
I didn't hear any of that.
However, I did leave you a little present, didn't I, Shaun?
Yeah.
On your doorstep, outside your front door. Show the people what I left.
Well, I got the message.
It was just a shit in a bag, wasn't it?
Might as well.
It was a copy of Burnout
3. With a message saying, get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I was stood outside with a whip. So Shaun,
So
show
it
the
was,
people.
I got the message that there's a present outside your door, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go see what it is." Pissing down with rain, bear in mind. So I go out in the rain, and Harry's left me a pot of Quaker's Oats So Simple, smooth, golden syrup flavoured porridge.
Now,
You're a real
Shaun,
shit friend, aren't you, Harry?
Shaun, if you had answered the door, I also had a can of Red Bull for you, but you didn't answer the door, and I wanted it, so I drank it. but the thought is there.
Right.
What did you think when you went downstairs and saw a pot of porridge on your doorstep?
At first, for some reason, I thought, I wonder if Harry's just seen it passing by my flat and just told me, or if he's left it. And then I was like, no, it's Harry. He's left me a Quaker's Oats pot of porridge.
Do you remember one of the early episodes? We were talking about T-shirt ideas, and we had one for Harry. It was Great Host, Shit Friends. I think we might need to revisit that design.
See, in my mind, it was a really thoughtful present. I remember. I always laugh at the little Quaintance Oats picture. I was in the shop getting a bottle of water, and I thought, oh, that reminds me of Shaun. He's having a bit of a tough day. I'll leave him some porridge. And yeah, it was like reverse Goldilocksing.
Some sopping wet porridge.
But I forgot it was raining, and I just left it on his doorstep.
Yeah, it's raining. You have to go outside to come to my flat.
Yeah, I don't know. So I just left you some sopping wet oats.
Can that be the title of the episode? Reverse Goldilocksing. Something that oats, yeah.
Shaun, do you want to intro the podcast, mate?
Oh, God.
I really like these little powwows we do before the show starts. Oh, so what have we had so far? We've had a massage therapist that buggers his victims.
Have you been?
And have I been? No, I did call them though. I was so curious.
You should have got Shaun a voucher for him to cheer him up.
Well,
you need a good massage.
It's been like a good Roger in to cheer me up in the day.
He said something to me and I nearly died. He said he never penetrates anybody unless they want to be. And I started laughing and he hung up. Oh. Shaun, could you intro the show, please?
Welcome to Gamers Watch episode 39. If you like this podcast, and even if you don't,
who likes this? Have you got any good gaming podcasts? Oh, I know this one podcast that talk about Quaker's Oats.
Being penetrated.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, Shaun, carry on.
Share it with your local friend. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at GamersWatchCrew. Subscribe to us on YouTube, which is youtube.com/GamersWatch. And then while you're at it, you can like this video. And then if your platform of choice allows it, then leave us a little comment or a review.
Also, 28% of the people that watch us on YouTube do not subscribe to us. Fucking subscribe to us. It's like you just click the button, ding, and it's done.
Shame.
So, subscribe to us. If this episode isn't watched 100% by subscribers, then I won't do anything because I can't make someone subscribe to us. However, we've got a bit of a chain. Yeah, I'll penetrate them. 1 star.
Fucking hell.
Send John the masseuse round. Yeah.
And then I'll come in their face.
And leave the calling card. A bowl of Quaker Oats on your doorstep. That's the calling card.
Imagine this. The detective goes to the crime scene. Right, so the victim's been buggered, covered in oats, and has ejaculate on his face. Well, there's only one man that could have done this. Anyway, also, we've changed the time that we're releasing the show to avoid Shaun from posting Burnout 3 photos on Twitter again. We have changed...
I'm going to do more subliminal ones now, like subtle messages.
Yeah.
Just game covers.
Yeah. It's just going to be like the psycho that cuts out like words out of magazines, but you'll do it with game covers.
The next one's just rage.
Yeah.
What you really need to be worried for is if I post Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh my God. So we've changed the time that we premiere the show now to Mondays, 9 p.m. British Standard, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And we are also now going to be releasing the podcast on Tuesday. It just gives us more time to make this better. How do we make this better? Let's not talk about sexual abuse. So this week, we are joined by a very special guest, and you've probably heard his dulcet tones already. We are joined by Wandering Dutch, so welcome to the Madhouse, Dutch.
Very, very grateful to be here.
And we are going to be talking about a couple of things you've been up to recently. You've done some amazing custom consoles for Xbox Mic, which look incredible, the Sea of Thieves console. And we're going to go through like the whole process of how that came about, the work that goes into it behind the scenes, and sort of what future projects you would like to do and how people can find your content as well. But we've all been playing a couple of games this week. Duncan, what have you been playing for your indie choices this week?
Harry, I've been playing Insurgency Sandstorm this week.
Shaun, you have been playing arguably the best game on Steam currently. What have you been playing?
I've made the jump from FIFA 22 to eFootball.
You have? Oh, I'm very excited to hear about that.
I took the plunge.
Oh my God. I have been playing a bit of Scarlet Nexus, not a huge amount. I'm about 6 hours in, but I'll be talking about that a little later. But Dutch, we're going to start with you because I basically watched you have the time of your life over this last weekend playing what looks like the best Halo multiplayer that's ever existed.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. Thankfully we had more than the capacity that wanted to actually play the game this weekend, which was insane. So obviously it was 12v12 big team battles. Was that a can opening there?
That was my Aldi beer very quietly trying to open it.
That was not quite in the slightest.
The only way that could have been less descriptive if I went, beer, really loudly. Drinking beer, gulping beer. So you filled up your lobbies basically, didn't you, Dutch?
Yeah, it was. We had a full 12 straight away, but we also had about 4 already in reserve waiting to get in throughout the whole night. And that was consistent. So as soon as one person was like, right, okay, I'm going to jump off for a bit and getting some food, somebody was already in the lobby, ready to come in. It was insane. But we had the full midweek mix-up crew on, pretty much. We had Gen C on. We had Chris from 1 Hour One Decision, and Pong Soul, Steel, just insane. Literally anybody and everybody was just jumping on, and wherever we looked when we were trying to find other people when we were just starting out, there was already parties of people that already had 9 and 10 people waiting to play. So it wasn't just us either. We had a full 12 for the vast majority of our 4-hour streams each day. But every other person who was also playing Halo also had full teams of 9, 10s and 12s, which was just absolutely insane. That game mode is just bonkers. But it's just harkens back to the good old multiplayer stupidness that we all loved, that we've kind of been missing properly for the last God knows how long. I haven't kind of had that much fun in a multiplayer for a very, very long time.
A lot of what I saw was people were saying the last time they had this much fun in a multiplayer online game was Halo 3. That was the last time it wasn't about competitiveness and prestiging and season passes. It was just pure unadulterated fun with 12 people. I saw 12 people riding a warthog into battle. It just looked incredible. I haven't been able to play it myself because I'm lazy and I didn't sign up for it. But also I don't want to. I just want my first experience in Halo to be when it comes out, when it's fresh, ready, done. But my opinion keeps changing on Halo. And I tell you what, it looks so much goddamn fun. I honestly cannot wait for it.
It was just it was silly fun, and then it was finding new things, and then obviously you've got the grapple shot now as well, and then obviously you've got the massive hammer, and you can combine the two and grapple shot that, and then hammer them immediately. You can grapple up to somebody in the sky and jack them from whatever craft they're flying around, and it was just absolutely insane. Or like you said, just jump onto vehicles, just all of you try and just jump on it, and then just drive into battle all at the same time, or. It was just crazy.
It looked absolutely, like you said, bonkers fun, but it just looked tight as well. The actual gameplay itself looked really consistently good. And bearing in mind that this is a game that's being played on the original Chunky Boy Xbox, PC, Series S and X all at the same time. And from what I saw, there weren't really many issues. I know that fucking ridiculous Kotaku article came out today, and we've blocked Kotaku because it was just completely fucking stupid, that article.
Yeah, and it was pretty much everybody in the replies as well saying, I don't know what you've been playing, but those PC players, Xbox players, and OG Xbox players all saying, there was a couple of little bugs here and there, but buggy mess, absolute mess. No, not even anywhere close to being a buggy mess.
Also, it's a beta, it's a test. They're testing the game to fix things. So I saw lots of people walking through trees saying it's unplayable and shooting bananas and they didn't explode right, or shooting the tires out and they disappeared. But who cares?
Wasn't to say there was no bugs. The one bug I had, which was very unfortunate, but I know it's something that they probably will have ironed out by the time it launches because it's not just me. But I couldn't use the left trigger on any controller. I don't know why that was occurring, but basically it was registering it as permanently held in, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
So if I tried to do put zoom onto a zoom for the scope onto the left trigger, it was permanently zoomed in, so it was unplayable. So I just had to literally unregister any commands from the left trigger.
But again, these are things that will get fixed. They'll get patched.
100%. 100%.
I can't believe I'm going to say this because Shaun, Duncan, how many times have I said I don't care about Halo over the last 2 months?
I've lost count.
It just looked so fun. I mean, what did you guys think when you were watching some of the stuff that was going on, or did you get any time yourselves to have a go?
No, I didn't have a chance on this weekend, but like Big Team Battle is my favourite ever mode in the multiplayer. So it's really, really great to see how much fun people were having. Because I think some of my favourite memories of multiplayers are all from Halo 3 in Big Team Battle. The only thing I like, Dutch, how did you find the progression system? Because we've had worries about it.
You know what it is after it's, because I can understand what the worries are in like it's slow and X, Y, and Z, but after actually playing it and just how much fun you have, and this is, I don't know whether or not it's because we weren't focused on it, but I think because we weren't focused on it, we just lost track of the like leveling up in the first place. And when we were leveling up, it was just a case of, oh, well, I've unlocked loads of stuff. Then you'd go back and you'd realise that you've unlocked, and obviously the battle passes and things like that, like the first battle pass is completely free anyway. But obviously going forward, you can just unlock them willy-nilly, so you can kind of go back, and if you've missed the second one, well, the third one's on, you can just go back and use the second battle pass instead and unlock stuff there, which is really good. And obviously they haven't done that for any multiplayer game before, where you've been able to retroactively go back and use a previous battle pass instead of the next one, so you'd never ever miss out on content. Or never ever miss out on skins or armor or anything like that, because you can literally pick and choose which battle pass you want to use at any given time, so you'll never ever miss out on stuff. But the actual progression going forward was tied to really basic stuff. So like one of the things in like daily challenges is like kill 10 Marines or kill 10 Spartans, and that is throughout the whole day of playing. And obviously killing 10 Spartans is like, it sounds like a lot, but if you're playing like 20 matches, you're bound to get 10 over the course of 20 matches, even if you're really bad at the game. Like, you're going to kill somebody at some point. So it's like, it is really basic. And then you've got other things like use the hammer or use this. So it's tied to like different weapon things and just encouraging people to try new things, go new places, use the vehicles, get in a vehicle, use grenades. So it was just, it felt pretty streamlined, and it seemed to go up pretty quickly. To me, anyway, it seemed to go up pretty quickly, and I didn't play every session, and so I played like 2.5 sessions. So I played the Saturday for 4-hour block and Sunday for a 4-hour block, and then I played Saturday 1 a.m. until 2:30 with some of the Americans, because of course, again, American company don't favour the Europeans very well. So the second time slot was 1 till 5 in the morning. But even throughout that time, I managed to level from 0 to level 15. And I wasn't the best player by any stretch of the imagination. Like I've not been in like on Halo Online for a very long time. So if I got to level 15 in like the space of like 8 hours worth of gameplay, I think the vast majority of normal people are going to be perfectly fine in terms of progression. Nice. You're going to unlock whatever you want to unlock.
Well, that alleviates a lot of my concerns.
Yeah, I guess probably like the problems that I've had like with it, I guess it's probably because I've been trained to focus more on, oh, what can I unlock next? What have I got to do to unlock the next thing, rather than am I having any fun? So yeah. I suppose it's nice to hear that you'll have so much fun, you kind of won't really give a shit.
It's not just, I would say it's not just that. It's the fact that a lot of these challenges are tied to things that you're doing anyway. So it's not like things that you're going to have to look up and think, right, what do I have to do? Because a lot of the challenges are just so like, I wouldn't see it in name, but they are basic challenges. Like
it's core gameplay.
Like, core gameplay stuff. Like you will do just playing the game anyway. So I think that alleviates a lot of the thing, and I think a lot of people were like concerned that potentially like some of the challenges, and there might be further on, there might be some like elite challenges where you've got to get like 20 headshots with a sniper rifle, or something like that. And fair enough, you might just think, okay, but then you can even go into your challenges on the menu and select and say, like, look at the challenges you've got, and you can also change your challenges for that day. So you can say, right, well, I don't want to use this one, I want to try this one, and just do a different challenge altogether.
Yeah, nice. That definitely alleviates a lot of the concerns I had. The one thing that I take away from that is that Halo Infinite is so much fun that leveling up isn't even sort of thought about. I remember when I used to play Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, and everyone from that point on has sort of tied their worth to online games to what is the rank that you are. And I think the worst thing that ever happened to online shooters was the prestige model that came in Modern Warfare 2, because all that did was tie your entire experience online to chasing arbitrary goals. And I think that if Halo is so much fun that those arbitrary goals are no longer even thought about, all that's going to do is make a game that is brilliant to play. And what we also need to remember, that online is free to play for everybody. And so there is going to be a bit of free to play gameplay mechanics in this game, because a lot of people won't be buying it. They will just be playing the online on the free to play.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And also, one of the great things about it as well is, and this is just because again, I'm much like one of yourselves. Like I was never a massive online multiplayer gamer on Halo, mainly because the onboarding, and like I say, thankfully on this one, it's the onboarding's been solved anyway with the introduction of bots. But mainly because the onboarding, if you jump into an online multiplayer match in any other Halo, you just get annihilated immediately. Like, you've got no chance of surviving because everyone's esport level. But on Infinite, you've got bots, and you can scale up the bots to practice anyway. So you can start with like the basic like Marines, and then you've got the ODSTs, and then you've got Spartans. So you can actually just go all the way up the scale and kind of progressively get better yourself, and then jump in online, so that you don't feel like you're like you're knee deep in shit.
That's something that Connor spoke about actually last week, was that the introduction of the training mode and the bots is a big game changer in terms of the skill level of the people that are playing. Huge difference going forward. And it's one of the reasons that I can't wait to play it, because I'm not very good at shooting games. 100%. And so to be able to tailor the game to the way I want to play it is really exciting.
And the last thing I was going to mention there is on the kind of leveling up, should I say, is I noticed beforehand, because I was having a look through the customizations and loads of stuff that was locked behind progression, and I was like, all right, okay, so I doubt I'm going to get anywhere near half that stuff. And then by the time I'd finished the weekend, I unlocked the vast majority of the stuff that was locked behind it anyway, and I hadn't even paid attention. Like, I'd unlocked all these different armor attachments, and I'd locked different paint jobs and visor colors and all this stuff, and I was like, all right, okay, sweet. Like, I ended up looking badass, and I hadn't even tried.
I think the main... We'll be moving on to Insurgency next, but the main thing that I can get out of this is that Halo is so good that people are no longer talking about the co-op delay and Forge. People are now talking about, oh my god, Halo's good. And that is nothing but great.
Forbes, if you didn't see that article, this is strange to come from Forbes of all people, because they
was it Tassie that put this article up?
It was, of all people, yeah. And hats off to him. He come out and said, Halo, and don't get any ideas 343, but Halo could launch with only multiplayer and still be a mega hit.
Yeah.
I mean, that sums it up.
Yeah, it's gone from a game that everybody's been worried about to... My entire Twitter timeline over the space of 3 days was, look at how much fun this game is. And that is nothing but great for Xbox going forward.
Yeah.
And for 343, I'll hold my hands up. If this game comes out and it's an absolute killer, I'll hold my hands up and say that I was wrong to not trust them. I will obviously wait until the game launches, but from what I can see, this game looks fucking great.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It looks really good. Talking about something that is really good, Duncan, you all right, mate?
Fine, thanks, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Should we put on our radio voices?
Please do.
Here we go. So, this week, Duncan has been playing the New World interactive title, Insurgency Sandstorm, the realistic FPS multiplayer tactical shooter, and he's been playing that for his recurring segment, Duncan Voices and Choices. So, Duncan...
Carry on.
Yeah. How was it?
Yeah, thanks, Harry. You're great, mate. Hey guys. Hey guys, do you like sand?
No, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, I hear that, Padawan. But what about a sandstorm? Because that's right, great mates. I've been playing the totally Italy-tastic, tic-tactical first-person competitive shooter, Insurgency Sandstorm, you great mates.
I don't know if your intro is long enough to fit into what you just did.
Oh, I choked on my wine.
That is the most first world problem I've ever heard, Shaun. The person that I'm talking to on the gaming podcast that I do was so funny, I choked on my alcohol. Amazing. Duncan, you've been playing Insurgency Sandstorm. How has it been?
I need a nap after that. It's great. It feels a little bit fucking pointless talking about it after Halo. But if you look at it as a little niche title, so if you don't want the big bombastic type games like Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty, it sits lovely. If we were talking about it in like a hay Venn diagram, you get it because of the
I get
thing
it.
before.
I get it.
It nestles comfortably in between the bosoms of Rainbow Six Siege and Counter-Strike. So it's a bit more accessible than the both. So I don't know if you played Rainbow Six Siege. It's really a mega high skill level, because I know Jordan and Paul play it quite a lot and they're pretty good at it. I'm shit at it.
There is a game that it did remind me of, and I don't know if you played this. It was an Xbox 360 title, but it's Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising. Very hyper-realistic first-person shooter.
Yeah, totally, So it's a 3-year-old game, and it was supposed to come out last year on the fucking, what was the last Xbox One, and it's come out now, and it looks old, but thankfully it doesn't feel too old to play. It's got that nice jank that you get with PUBG. Like,
okay, yeah,
it's good. It's clearly not like, a super high budget title, but there's loads of fun to have with it. So basically, you've got 2 factions. So you've got your American Marines and your insurgents in some fictional Arabian country. You start off pretty best to go in a co-op mode. So you with like 8 other people, and good luck trying to coordinate with 8 fucking strangers, because you play against the AI, and it's really baffling, because they can either be really, really good, like a crack shot, and it could take you down in one hit, or they shoot you like a fucking stormtrooper with a bad case of thrush. Like, they'll be right in front of you, and they'll just completely miss you. So one minute you'll be like, yeah, fine, I'll just take this point, and next minute you get crack shot through a window from 2 miles away. And one of the first games I had on the co-op mode, you just have to like go through and take points. We were so shit. There was just some American guy laughing on the mic because of how bad we are. But it's really cool. So if you talk to other people on it, it has like, they put like a filter over the chatter, so it's got like that radio crackle as if you hit anything. It's really nice little touch, and the sound like is incredible. Like, so if you play it with headphones, there'll be like airstrikes going off, and it fuck me, it sounds like it's going off. I'm like, Cornwall's getting pissing attacks as I'm playing it. I'm like, oh, it's just the game, silly. And you can hear kind of footsteps knocking about. So you think, okay, well, I need to make sure I'm looking at this door, because I can hear some silly buggers going around the sides.
Imagine if that's what they were called.
Silly buggers.
You're in Afghanistan and you just hear, we've got silly buggers at 6. Quick, there's a suicide silly bugger running right for me.
Funny enough, they're in it. Like, all of a sudden you hear a telephone ring, and you have about half a second to locate and take down the tango. Yeah. But you get such a little fucking reaction time every time you hear it, you die. Alas, but then you've got the actual PvP mode, which is much more different. So it's quite akin to modes you might find in Call of Duty, like Domination, like King of the Hill, that kind of thing. But you've it's so fucking intense. Like, I haven't played a game where you know there's that joke where if you're losing on FIFA, you kind of lean forwards, like you get a little bit closer to the screen. Like, the entire time I was like that, because you have to watch every corner. You have like relatively big maps, but then all it takes is just one guy looking at you like through a door crack, and you're dead. It's super, super intense. And I played it with a couple of mates, and when we kind of figured out that actually communicating through teamwork is the only way we made the dream work, and we actually started to win some games. But it's really good. There's no silly bollocks fucking you've earned this badge for doing a headshot, and you know you play Call of Duty, you get that horrible shit take up your screen like it's fucking Candy Crush or something.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Just like the only way you know if you've killed someone is they drop to the floor, and that's it. There's no other feedback from that. And you can switch attachments out on the fly. So before you start a round, you have like a point system. So an ACOG scope might be worth like 4 points, but then you want a gas mask and some C4. So you need to kind of think, well, okay, well, I could use a lesser scope so I can afford the C4 depending on the map. So if you've got a night map, you'll want night vision goggles and a torch, but that means you can't afford heavy armor, those kind of things. But if you're struggling, if you die, you can swap out your attachments on the fly, which is really cool. It will get lost in the shuffle. I think it's come out at the wrong time. So you've got the Battlefield beta next week, or no, tomorrow even.
Hell Let Loose.
Hell Let Loose. I've got that downloaded to have a go. Obviously, Halo coming out. Vanguard is coming out, even though it's fucking shit and no one should ever play it because it's bollocks. But I think it will come about like a really nice little niche. And I hope it does because it's pretty good. Shame it's taking so long to come out. But yeah, I'd recommend it for the rating. Yeah, halfway up to the elbow, you know.
Halfway up to the elbow?
Halfway up to the elbow. Not all the way. Just
there is...
With or without lube?
Yeah, with or without. Are you spitting on or just in dry?
Spitting on.
Sandy dry or?
I'd probably raid the cupboard, get some Nutella on it, get a nice sheen halfway up.
Sean, you've got a couple of extra days of editing now, so if I don't get a Nutella spread arm going up the dick
whole
butt,
extra days point was so that because currently I don't have enough days, so if we're adding stuff, I still ain't gonna have enough days.
Shit,
but I will add some Nutella.
Well, I'll tell you what you can do, Sean. Every time that you and Dutch have sent each other a selfie in this Discord chat, can you just pop that into the podcast just randomly? Because I've been trying not to laugh for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, I've got half an hour left. I'm going to do more.
I know I shouldn't have done. There is a game that's coming out December of this year, Dunks. I'm sure you're aware of it. 6 Days in Fallujah, that I think is going to be very similar to Insurgency Sandstorm. And obviously, there's been a lot of controversy about that game.
I thought I got canned, or is it?
No, it's been relaunched and it's releasing at the end of this year. And so it would be interesting to see how that game plays compared to possibly something like Insurgency. And the dreaded one notification has just popped up. Brilliant.
Will you just stop flirting?
Fuck each other already.
Should me and Harry just carry on our own and you two can go and have a little sesh?
We can't do that because the next segment is Dutch talking about his consoles. I'll tell you what, Duncan, put on your best Geordie accent and tell me about these consoles you make.
Oh, I've got some fucking canny paints, man, and fucking... Boy... Oh, Mr. Partridge.
Oh my God.
You forgot to slag off Mike Ashley.
Fucking Sports Direct, man.
Does good months.
So somehow that moves us quite swiftly on.
No, it doesn't. Again.
To the reason we're bringing Dutch into this podcast.
I love the desperation in Sean's voice every time.
So how does that move us on?
There's no links between these segues.
I don't care, Sean. I'll tell you what. The segues that we do, they perfectly sum up the life of the man that invented the segue.
It'd be like if you're watching BBC Two and it was like, after that thrilling episode of Robot Wars, that leads us directly on to the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, that's how I work. So the way that I see it is that the segues that I do, they perfectly encapsulate the life of the creator of the Segway. Because I'm not sure if you know about this, but he died when he fell off a cliff driving a Segway.
Yeah.
So, like, if we're segueing into things and they go wrong, then
so we're going off the cliff each time?
Yeah, every single time.
Okay.
We are segueing into the segments the same way that he plummeted to his unfortunate death. That's the caveat.
Just and Shaun,
with those extra few days, please can you just get a picture of a man on a Segway falling off a cliff? Thank you, Shaun.
Sake.
And I'll bring you some more porridge, I swear.
Oh, don't bring me fucking porridge.
And another fucking picture. Brilliant.
Oh, God. I think that's my new phone background, please.
I think that's going in the wank bank. You look like Hagrid from PS1 Harry Potter.
Oh my God, yes, if I say
that. Please do a side-by-side for the video podcast, Shaun. Oh my God. Should not have said that.
Looks like what people see on a massage table when they look up.
Before they get penetrated.
Oh, God.
You know what? When I was writing up the script for this episode, I was like, oh, it's a lot of gaming heavy. There's probably not going to be many laughs this episode. My ribs hurt. My ribs hurt. Oh, God. Somehow, that moves us on to Dutch and his consoles. One of the reasons we wanted to bring Dutch in is obviously on Twitter the other day, you shared some of your incredible custom consoles that you've made. And obviously part of the collective that we're all part of, Xbox Mick did his unboxing of his absolutely incredible. Oh, what now? Oh, for God's sake. Yes, it's the picture of me doing the same face when I shaved all my hair off. Oh my God.
I might have to leave the room.
I tell you what, the people that are listening to this on Spotify, they are missing out big time.
I've got to leave the room.
Shaun, you ruined me. Oh, God damn it. Fucking Xboxes.
Your podcast.
Duncan wheezing from here.
Oh, God. So, Dutch, you make Xboxes or something?
I do.
I do. So, you had some amazing feedback over the last few days, and I just wanted to talk more about these amazing pieces of art that you make. Now, my favourite one is the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice console. I think it looks utterly incredible. But the unboxing that Mick did of that Series S, the excitement in his voice, it was like a kid opening up a Nintendo 64 on Christmas. Yeah. The glee that you could hear, like that must bring you a lot of joy when you see that level of excitement for the stuff that you make.
Oh, 100%. Like that's one of the things that I couldn't wait for more than anything else, is just watching somebody unbox something that they've just, like, Mick just entrusted me to come up with the design. He had absolutely no input in what I was doing at all. Had no idea what I was
doing that.
Yeah, absolutely no input. He didn't. He just said, right, okay, say thieves. I was like, right, brilliant, let's go for it. And then that was it. That's all he said, say thieves.
So when did your journey in custom consoles and controllers sort of start?
So that was actually the first custom console was the Gears of War 1X that you would have seen. Yeah.
Shaun, I'm guessing you enjoyed that one.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed Gears of War very much so.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering.
That's okay, Shaun. Take some time. It's okay.
That particular console was my first foray into a fully custom 1X. I purchased a spare shell, which I ordered directly from China. Tremendous. Took about a month, the best part of a month, for that spare shell to come, and then I got to work on it. Obviously, I didn't want to ruin the Scorpio edition shell that I had on. So that took the best part of a solid week to do, primarily because I was getting used to airbrushing, brush techniques. Then I was also getting used to the clay modelling to do the emblazoned Omen symbol on the front of it. Then I was also getting the LEDs to work, so it had obviously the light up eyes in the front of the open. Ordered a flick switch as well, so it's not just a power button; it's actually a flick switch to turn it on, which is just adds a little bit extra to it.
I love that little touch. Honestly, it looks so good.
And that was my first foray into doing it. And the reason I started doing these custom consoles and controllers in the first place, primarily, was because I've seen a lot of these.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You would think so. It was because other companies were making a horrific amount of money on something that was so basic.
Yeah.
So you can go on to any of these custom controller websites. Not all of them. There's a company in Durham that I want to shout out that do absolutely amazing airbrush work called Extreme Consoles. You might have seen them or might not have, but go and follow them because they are absolutely tremendous. Really supportive guys as well. If I've got any questions with regards different techniques or different equipment or anything else that I need to use, they'll easily reply and let me know where to find it. There won't be like anti-competition and trying to stop us from creating consoles because they do it. It's quite the opposite. They're actually really supportive. A lot of these bigger companies, like these mass conglomerates, not these little guys like us or Extreme Consoles, literally just get these parts from a company that I use as a wholesaler called Extreme Rate, put them all together, and then charge another 70, 80, 100 on top of what you would normally pay for a controller for something you can literally do yourself. You can buy a controller, buy the parts, put them together, that's it, done. And you've already saved yourself £80. What I wanted to do for mine, primarily, not only was save people money, if they just want to stick together thing, I just say, right, cost of controller, £60. The cost of the parts is this. The cost of me putting it together, £5. There you go. That's all I'm charging for just putting a normal controller together. If you want a custom controller, I charge £10 to £15, depending on what the artwork is on top of it, mainly for just my time. In terms of custom console, that depends on how much detail you want to put into it. For Mick, I just didn't. I really just, all I said was, and this is mainly because for specifically for Mick, I wanted to see his reaction. Like I seen him, I created that Fable controller for him and sent that over. And I loved his reaction to that and kind of what I'd put together. And I wanted to see his reaction to something like this again as well. So I just said, right, cover the paint. That's it. Just cover the paint that I need, and we'll go from there. But normally I would say for a custom console, maximum I would ever charge for a custom console, depending on how much would be like 50 to 100 on top of what it is. And that covers paint and time. And that's it. The actual depth that it goes into, for the Fable one and for the Hellblade one, Shaun designs the actual full artwork for me first and the line work, so two separate files. So he has the color work and everything like that, and that's more of a guideline for me because it's not going to be exactly represented on that as it would be on a bit of paper, because I'm also going to take my artistic liberties on it as well. So for the Fable one, as you've probably seen, and I do have the artwork for it separately, there was actually zero 3D intended on that original artwork, but I chose to do a 3D skull. I chose to do 3D bushes on the front of it, 3D flowers all the way around the console. So everything was literally popping out, so it adds a little bit more depth to the console as well, but also not to be a little bit too much intrusive. For the Sea of Thieves one, obviously, I chose to go through the glow-in-the-dark.
I absolutely love that touch. That glow-in-the-dark skull on the front. Oh, man. So good.
Pops. Yeah, it just pops. And it's so... when I seen it as well, because in different light, it works better. And when he had that put in his setup, and you could just see it like lighten up on his desk, I was like, yeah, that looks cool. That looks really cool. But I also didn't want to go too overboard as well on that design, because some of them require it and some of them don't. Like the Fable one really needed a lot of more like detail, but not like at the same time overpowering. The Gears one didn't need much detail because the main focus of it was that big omen symbol in the middle, and then the cool like the red and black paintwork all over it, and like blood splatter. Again, the Hellblade one was really in depth with detail, and then the Sea of Thieves one was quite the opposite. That was just, the focus was on changing that horrific black vent on the Series S into the Sea of Thieves logo, but that glowed in the dark. And then, of course, added the tentacles as well that come up from the bottom, which also glow in the dark.
Yeah, it's an absolute work of art. It looks sublime. I mean, we've spoken before. I think all four of us have spoken before about design labs, and obviously it's very limited design labs. And I do hope that they do go into the adaptive controller and the Series S and X to be able to do design labs on that. But there is something tactile about what you do. It isn't just a vinyl skin slapped over the top. It isn't just something you buy off of Amazon and you just double-sided tape it onto your console.
Yeah,
it brings them to life, and it gives them a personality. Mick absolutely loves Sea of Thieves. He adores that game. So for him to be able to have this custom controller and console that he can show off his passion for something that he loves, you don't get that if you just slap a sticker on the front. I've been tempted a few times myself to get one of these like Hyperskin slap-on Series X skins, but every time I look at them, they're just lifeless and there's no soul to them, and it just looks like mass-produced out of a factory. But there is something about the artwork that you do that every console just has this personality about it, and it's why I like them so much.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to do, and I've kind of stipulated, because a lot of people as well have, after seeing that Sea of Thieves console, I had a lot of messages from people saying, I want that, like, can I buy that one? Or can I order that one to get done? Can I see it? And I'm like, well, first of all, I want to stipulate, I can do a Sea of Thieves console, but I will never, ever do the same console twice.
Yeah.
Because I want everybody's console to be limited, and specifically a one-of-one console for everybody, so you feel like that console is special to you.
It's yours, like, and no one else's.
Yeah, exactly, and I want to keep it that way. That goes for controllers as well. If I'm doing a design for somebody, I want it to be yours, and nobody else is ever going to get something anywhere near the same. Like, it's always going to be the same. I did one a little while ago as well for a charity stream there, for a guy called Fleety, which had his channel logo on the front, and then it had the Mind logo on the back because he was doing a charity stream for Mind. Yeah, had all the pink icons and things on. And again, that was a one-of-one. No one else is going to get that controller. I've done Black Lives Matter's controllers as well before, two matching ones, but they were kind of reversed. So one of them was white and black on one side, and then it was black and white on the other. So again, no one else has got those controllers. No one else ever will, because I refuse to do the same thing twice, because I want everyone to have a unique bit of art for themselves.
I appreciate that. That's it. I don't think people understand quite how much work actually goes into what you do. So to just
well, the Hellblade one specifically was 2 solid straight weeks.
Wow.
And that was primarily because this is when we get the line work done. So if the vast majority of people have had at least a tattoo and know how tattoos work now.
Yeah.
So I have the same thing. So I've got carbon paper, I've got tracing paper. So I'll go over the line work, painstakingly go over every little bit of line work for the console itself, first and foremost onto each sheet of tracing paper. I'll go over that line work again on carbon paper. Then once I've got that done, then I'll go put that carbon paper onto the console once it's had its base layer. Once the carbon paper is printed onto the console, then I go over those lines again. So that's 3 times line work. Again, just to get that on permanently onto the shell. Then I'll go through and do all of the paint work again. And then once I've finished all the paint work, I'll do all of the line work again. So that's 4 times, just to make sure that you can actually see the line work on the art. The paint work itself as well, especially on designs like Fable and Hellblade, is all completely hand painted. So that involves mixing paints to get different colors, mixing shades, using different kind of brush techniques, whether it's using a sponge to get like a hazy technique, like a little bit of a fog or something like that, or it's using just paint splatters, so I'm just throwing paint at it. Or there's so many different things that I use to just try and just go wild and try new things and be inventive when I'm actually doing these things as well. So it takes a lot of time. The Fable one took a week. Sea of Thieves one took 3 days, but that was 3 days solid. Fable one was 1 week solid. Hellblade one, just because of the sheer size of it, was 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks.
Jesus. I mean, that Hellblade one is fucking incredible. And even Ninja Theory think it's incredible.
Yeah, they wanted to buy one.
Did they?
Yeah. The first time I put that up, they retweeted it and said, "Where can we buy one?"
Oh, shit. Imagine if it was just like a hidden Easter egg in Hellblade 2.
Just on there.
Yeah, that would be she it's one of the like the pillars that you go to, and it's just your giant Xbox Series X. That'd be amazing. Now,
if only.
That moves us on quite nicely. What? It does. Because
first of all, I just want to say, has anyone asked you, Dutch, for a Mario and Rabbids one yet?
I haven't actually, no. But I mean, you know what it is, and I'd love to do. I'm still okay. Good. I'm still waiting to do because the one thing I'm missing now. I've done custom PlayStations. I've done several. But I haven't done a custom PlayStation to the same artwork standards as the Fable or Hellblade one, and I really can't wait to do something like that. Likewise with Nintendo. The Switch isn't much to work with, but I'd really love to do a custom Switch, and I'd really love to do custom Joy-Cons. I've done a custom Switch Pro controller, but I'd really love to just have something different other than just the Xboxes. I love Xboxes, but I want to share that same passion for anybody else on any other platform as well.
I'm sure you could do something amazing with the Switch dock.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Especially with the new Metroid game coming out as well. You could do a sick Samus.
You know what the brilliant thing about that Switch dock is it's actually, the vast majority of it is pretty much hollow, so I can actually put LEDs into that Switch dock and everything.
Oh.
It would look insane. I could do so much with that dock.
With it being October, you could do a Luigi's Mansion Spooktober cool. special.
With a nice green LED backdrop.
Oh, mate. If I hadn't just sold my Switch, then I would be up for that.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to do it, Duncan. All the games are coming to Series S now via emulator, so I don't need my Switch anymore.
Yeah, I literally haven't touched it since that came out last week.
No.
Yeah.
Now, talking about something that is incredible, such as Dutch's consoles, Shaun and Duncan, you've been playing eFootball, and I hear that is pretty incredible too.
I've got a little thing to read out before we get stuck right into it.
Oh god, I want to caveat something. Duncan, you fucking love Pro Evo, don't you?
Yeah, like ever since fucking Pro Evo back on the old PS1, PS2.
I think Pro Evo 3 is my favourite, and that's the one with the referee Colina on the front. That's my favourite Pro Evo. So you've got something to read out, Shaun.
Yeah, so when you first start up the game, you're greeted with a message, and I'm just going to read the message out, and then also sort of explain how eFootball came to be, because you need to know all of this really to get a grasp on what I imagine me and Duncan are going to share similar things with.
Okay.
So the message is, it all began with the implacable determination to create a revolutionary football experience. Our ambition was to recreate the perfect football environment, from the grass on the pitch to the players' movement, all the way to the crowds in the stadium. Today, we are proud to announce the inauguration of eFootball World, the centerpiece of eFootball. There is another bit of it, it's just explaining like what modes you can do. So when you start the game, you get a video of how Iniesta and PK have helped with like the motion capture and getting all the players' movements, and that just nice and perfect for the game.
That's also the training video.
That is,
in case you didn't realise yet.
Yeah, I went onto the training mode to practice, and it was just the video again.
Yeah. Fuck off. What?
Yeah, it's
the training is a video of Iniesta and PK.
Yeah, and it just shows like three controls, like your movement, how to sprint, and how to square up, I think, to people as a defender. It was. So it's not much training. But yeah, anyway, eFootball is basically what has risen from the ashes of PES. So for years, people have sort of got fed up with the yearly releases of sports games because you can't really improve on them in the space of a year's development. It's just small iterations at best. So Konami said that eFootball would be a free-to-play game where there isn't a yearly release, it's just the game itself is updated, sort of thing. So nice news. I'll start with the positives. You don't have to buy the game.
End of list. Okay.
That's end of positives.
Wait, what?
Oh, well, the rest is all negatives. So I've literally had to create a list. There was that many things I wanted to moan about. So I'll start with the menu options. A menu is clunky as fuck for me. I don't know if it was just me though, but like it felt like it was very unresponsive at times, trying to go across to different menus or down to another one. This is just the main menu, not the in-game menu. Oh, and then you have two game modes, one of which is PvP and the other is basically like exhibition, so it's just one-off matches. I thought I'd go into the PvP first, and that is basically you choose a team, and there's quite a few teams to choose from, and then you like represent that team in different challenges. The wide variety of challenges are either win 1 out of 3 games or win 2 out of 3 games. So that's your challenges. That's your PvP mode.
What?
So I went back out and I was like, I'll maybe try exhibition mode. I'm not very good at online games anyway, so I'll probably enjoy it more against AI. It's just a single match, like I said, and there's only 9 teams to choose from. There's like
what?
There's like 200 in the PvP mode, and then the single player mode has 9 teams you can choose from. So I chose Bayern for my first match. Went into the settings. You can only do 5 minutes for the match times, not half times. No, match times. So It's 2.5 minutes each half. Yep.
What?
That's the whole match. You can edit your
270 seconds per. No,
for a whole game of football.
Quick maths.
Yep. You then go into do like your lineup and strategies. I don't know if I'm remembering it wrong.
It's 300 seconds. I'm an idiot. That's 4.5 minutes. But
I don't know if I remember it wrong, but I remember Pez being really good for like different strategies and tactics you can do with your formation. So like if I remember right, you could set it so they have a certain formation when you're like pressing for the ball, and then as soon as you gain possession, they like change to a different formation sort of thing. This time, it's literally sort of set groups, so you can have like heavy press, and then there's a set thing for that for if you haven't got the ball, if you have got the ball, if you've just got the ball, and if you've just lost the ball. So you can't really edit or change anything. You can just set, kind of like FIFA, you can just be like, oh, I want to do high press, or I want to play counter-attacking sort of thing. Sorry, bear with me 2 secs. Next category, graphics, sound, atmosphere. Shit. It just looks bad. Like the facial animations, the actual animations, I don't even know if they're face scans they've done for the players or if they've just sort of done them from memory. Like I'm pretty sure they have.
like a police e-sketch.
Have you seen, considering he's the star of the game, have you seen the image of Messi going around?
Yes,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and Ronaldo is worse.
They look terrified.
They look maniacally depressed is what
I was
they look like.
I'll get the picture of it up in the actual episode as well, but the picture of Messi on the main menu looks like he is not there of his own will.
There's just a gun next to his head.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God.
But yeah, it's just there's constant texture pop-ins as well that I had with the start of each like cutscene. So there's probably about 7-8 cutscenes that play before a match because for some reason they'll have a 5-second cutscene of them in the changing room, and then it will have to load a new cutscene of them walking through the tunnel, and then load a new cutscene of them once they're all lined up to do the national anthems and stuff. So there was texture pop-ins every time that started, and also for some reason the cutscenes take ages to load, so it hangs on the last frame of each cutscene for a couple seconds before going to the next one. And if you have a cutscene play during a match, the players then revert back to their old positions on the pitch quickly after the cutscene before going back to the position they're supposed to be instead. So, like, for example, if it blows for halftime, players will start walking off the pitch. Then you'll have the cutscenes of halftime and all that. And instead of them all being lined up ready for kickoff, it'll go back to them walking off the pitch basically, and then quickly cut to them all lined up for kickoff. So, oh god, the list goes. I've got so much more. Commentators, fucking dreadful. Their sentences and speech are more broken up than Stephen Hawking's voice communication aid thing.
Oh my god!
Like it's literally. And I'm again going to have to pause our audio so I can show this as an example. It's literally, they'll say a sentence, sort of pause, say another sentence that's supposed to be connected to the other one in a different, like completely different tone, and then again pause, and it just goes on and on and on, literally like a PS2 game.
Perfect game for all parties, not least the neutrals who've just come to enjoy it. Well, get ready for some high-grade football, Peter. 2 strong teams, as you say, full of wonderful individual talent. And we have every right to anticipate some really entertaining football. As to whether we'll see a high-scoring contest, that's a little harder to predict. I'm not complaining, though, because there are good players everywhere you look around this surface, and that's a fine start in itself. Gets up to head it!
The crowds are shit as well. They sound really as if someone's got like trying to talk through a gag, like the muffled sort of noise, but like supposedly 1,000 of them in a stand.
Are they all in the Mashrod parlour?
Yeah. It's very much that. You can't make out a word what they're saying. It's just generic muffled crowd stadium noise. And then we get to the gameplay, which is clunky as fuck. Passing, running, and shooting just feel completely off. And the passing as well, again, this might be me just not playing it right, but it felt really inaccurate. So sometimes I'd press to do a short pass and he'd just pelt it across the pitch to someone miles away, or I press to do a through ball and he just tries to pretty much shoot. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Let's just go through the rest of the list.
I'm just going to have to somehow. It just feels really outdated. It feels like a PS2 game, pretty much. It feels really outdated. And the only thing I thought of was that maybe it was because they picked 2 outdated players to do the motion capture on. That's the only thing I can think about. and also I've not given it a pass or a play. Instead, I know I said that I didn't want to do more stuff because the whole point of having more time to edit is so that I can do the stuff I currently do. But I'm going to put a stamp of just a turd full screen on this.
Just cut one out.
Yeah. That's my rant over.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking abysmal. There's a little thing, so like with the passing, it feels like, you know, if you have like a bogey or something and you try and flick it off your finger, but it kind of gets stuck in your finger for half a second and then it misses the bin. That's what the passing feels like. It just feels like there's
the most accurate description possible.
Passing in eFootball is like flicking a sticky bogey.
But then, but then, if you pass to your teammate, the player won't run to get the ball. He'll just stand completely still. So, like all the motions like sucks out the game. But then, on the other hand, if you do a through ball, your players will run for it, but then they'll just fucking let it run past them. So you think, oh, well, I've played a fucking banging through ball there, but then your character will run next to the ball until it runs out of fucking play. Oh, it's fucking, and the most annoying fucking thing. So when it's like a cutscene, so if the other team scores a goal, you know, you in like FIFA or whatever, you hit A because that's the button to skip the cutscene. If I'm pressing A, don't ask me to press A again. I'm not pressing it because I'm confused. I'm pressing it because I want to go to the next fucking cutscene. Don't let me press A, bring up an option to say A skip. I want to fucking skip. That's why I fucking pressed the fucking button in the first place, you cunt. But
I'll drop off some porridge. Don't worry, you'll be all right.
Also, were you able to skip? They're not exactly cutscenes, but like if the ball goes out for a goal kick, were you able to skip the 20 seconds of the goalkeeper going to get the ball?
Oh, I can't remember.
Throwing it onto his thing and then allowing you to take the goal kick.
I played it 2 hours ago and I've banished it to fucking the deepest part of my brain, so now I've got to think of it again until it comes out in therapy.
So eFootball is a turd.
But
it's dead on arrival.
Just before we move on, I just collected some reviews from the highly rated Xbox store reviews.
Was there anything to do with penetration in any of these?
Well,
oh god. Oh my god.
There's a quite concerning theme running through them. So the first review, I won't say the names.
Sorry, I just seen the Discord.
So bad, don't get it. Dog, 5 stars.
Dog, 5 stars.
I'll send these to Shaun so you can put on the thing. The next review, fucking shit. This is where the theme starts to come in. This game feels sluggish. I'd rather fuck my own dad than play this. I've never liked Pez, but holy hell, this is poorly made. So I'm reading these verbatim. This one,
oh god,
I'm reading it how it's written. Absolutely disgusting. It was terrible. What a waste of time making. I feel bad for the guy who made this because he's probably living in shame. I'm not surprised people would rather touch their siblings than play this. 5 stars.
Oh my god.
It's the worst.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. Thank God FIFA is alright this year because it's miserable.
And I never thought I would see a day where I was agreeing that FIFA was a miles better game than what Konami was putting out for their like football equivalent. It's just so bad. It is basically dead on arrival. Like, so many people put off now, I can't see it recovering.
Scarlet Nexus is all right. I can't top that. So basically, yeah, it's good. It's like playing an anime. It's wicked. I don't have a fucking clue what's going on, but combat's cool. Yeah.
Do any of the characters annoy the living shit out of you yet? Or
almost all of them. Yep. Basically, Scarlet Nexus, it's just come to Game Pass. I've wanted to play it for a while. I'm a big fan of JRPGs. I'm a big fan of anime. And basically what they've done is they've got anime, they've got a JRPG, and they've just gone, now kiss. And they've made Scarlet Nexus. And it's utterly insane to the point where the intro to the game... Oh, God, I've not looked at it yet. The intro to the game is an actual anime cutscene intro. Oh, God, what have we got now? Oh, there's Duncan. There you all are. There you all are. I've just scrolled through about 8 photos that I've not seen.
Shaun's one.
I was doing my best. Is it Dustin Hoffman?
That's Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah. No, it was,
So yeah,
sorry, Harry.
Scarlet Nexus is all right. I can't even talk about it now because nothing will top listening to you read out 5-star reviews of eFootball.
I can't believe they gave him 5 stars.
Scarlet Nexus is pretty good. If you like JRPGs, play it because it's fucking bonkers and it's a typical Japanese game where nothing makes sense, but you can't stop playing it because you want to make things make sense. It's brilliant.
You're going to have to remind me because it was so long ago that... So long ago. Did you enjoy Dragon Quest when we done that in like one of our first few episodes?
I did sort of enjoy Dragon Quest, but I felt it was a little bit too linear and it looked nice, but it was like a little bit outdated. Whereas the combat in Scarlet Nexus is incredible. There is nothing more satisfying than linking together a few power-ups and just beating the shit out of these others. It's so good.
I was going to say, maybe Japanese games are your Game Pass jam.
Oh, maybe they are.
Because I think there was another one. I don't know if it's just released or it just popped up on my Game Pass app. And
is it Astro Ascending?
No, I really want to play that. It was one I hadn't heard of before. But I'll have a quick look on my play later list because I added it to that.
Yeah, maybe they're my jam. Oh my God. Maybe they are my jam. Shall we talk about something that is nobody's jam? And it's the segment that we now end the show on. And because of the timing of recording and this last podcast coming out, we don't know if Paul and Zoe have got these because they weren't in the live show because Paul has apparently got a disease that makes him dizzy all the time or something. Does
that mean we won?
Yes, it does. Yeah. He's got labyrinthitis. That's what he's got. So basically we won because nobody guessed what they were. And it's a bit annoying because I'm really proud of my one last week. But Duncan, what was your clue last week?
It's not Fathom cultivating, it's change.
And what was that answer?
Harry, that was Mass Effect.
That was, of course, Mass Effect, and it was a fucking great one. Connor's one was look at the circumference of that reflective surface, and that is Mirror's Edge, which we have done before, but we'll let him off for that. Shaun, get your Golfman picture up right now.
Here he is in all his nosy glory.
What was your clue last week?
This was my best picture one yet. This is better than Burgerman, I think.
This was incredible.
This was For Honor.
And why is that so For Honor, Shaun?
Because he's a judge playing golf, so he's going to be shouting For
Honor. What a great one. Now, my one I sort of tricked them a bit because it wasn't a pun game in 60 seconds. It was an actual good cryptic clue. And my clue last week was get rid of ET. And if you remove the E and the T from get rid, what does that spell? Anybody?
I thought you were going to tell us.
No, I was like, what does that spell?
Grid.
Failed English.
It spells grid. So my one was grid, and I'm properly happy about that one. My one this week is shit, by the way. Duncan, what is your clue this week?
It's god awful. Oh, stick you, Daphne.
What? Hang on.
No idea.
You'll kick yourself. Oh, stick you, Daphne.
Oh, stick you.
Daphne.
Oh my god, I know it.
Yeah, you know it.
I've got it.
You got it. Yeah, boy.
Oh, yes, because
That's it. Yeah.
I'll bleep all of that out, don't worry.
Please, could you? Yeah, that's it.
I will do, don't worry. Shaun, picture round.
Roll up. Get your Discords up.
Okay. I'm having to scroll through the 9,000 selfies that you three have taken over the last couple of minutes.
Oh, and the reviews. Don't forget the reviews.
Oh, and the reviews. Dog. It's okay. I'm in Discord, Shaun. It's okay.
Okay. I've just for that fucking shit review, have they used the German U?
They've umlauted the fuck out of it, haven't they?
They've umlauted it.
Okay, right. It will be appearing on people's screens in 3. Once I get my mouse working. 3, 2, 1, bam.
What is that? Hang on. Oh, I know that. I know what that is.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so good. Oh, shit, my picture just came through. I sent that ages ago. I sent that like 15 minutes ago, and I just opened up my Discord on my phone.
I was looking at my picture store, and that just popped up full screen instead.
Oh, okay. That's amazing, Shaun. I'm a big fan of that one.
Thanks.
I think we need to end it now, Shaun. Or
You haven't done yours.
I have done mine, haven't I?
No.
Oh no, I haven't. Oh. Okay. Let's do my one. My one is that horse house has no more PG tips. That horse house, it's got no more PG tips. And that...
I'm struggling with that one.
That is because it...
Oh, fuck me.
Wow.
God's sake.
So that horse house has no more PG tips.
Oh, God.
Should we fuck off now?
Probably for the best. Yeah.
I'm just taking the worst picture possible.
I'll tell you what, on that then, big thank you, Dutch, for being here to witness this utter monstrosity of... Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, no. You know what? We're not even doing an outro this week. This is how we're ending it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Subscribe on YouTube. Fucking like this video. I don't care anymore. I'm done. Fuck this.